You might be familiar with the conservative blogger and radio host Erick Erickson. He said yesterday that he knows who leaked the news about Donald Trump handing over sensitive intelligence about ISIS to foreign diplomats last week at the White House. We've since learned that the intel allegedly came from Israel, not a surprising thing when the original report was a Middle Eastern ally had given us the information. Erickson is saying that the information is, number one, totally reliable. But he also says that most of the reports of the incident are not emphasizing enough how damaging spreading, divulging, leaking this type of information to Russia could be in terms of our relationships with other countries. Erickson said in a blog post yesterday, quote, "This is a real problem, and I treat this story very seriously because I know just how credible, competent, and serious, as well as seriously pro-Trump, at least one of the sources is." Erickson is a conservative, sort of an extremist conservative at that, anti-Trump conservative. And despite that fact, like many conservatives, he is very concerned about the carelessness that Donald Trump is displaying when he chooses to give this information to Russia. And apparently, the person who leaked the information about Trump spilling the beans to Russia, according to Erickson, is also a conservative and pro-Trump. That's what I think is starting to change the tenor of what we're seeing, Pat, which is that the people who are leaking some of these bombshells from within the administration, they are not random, moderate, or liberal ideologues that have somehow slipped in and just want to hurt Trump. These are conservatives who seem genuinely concerned about what Donald Trump is doing, and that's who we're getting this information from. And so the notion that these are left-wing bomb throwers in there is absolutely false. Erick Erickson also said, and we'll put the second quote up on the screen for you, "You can call these sources disloyal, traitors, or whatever you want, but please ask yourself a question. If the president, through inexperience and ignorance, is jeopardizing our national security and will not take advice or corrective action, what other means are available to the president to listen and recognize the error of his ways?" That is spot on. Erickson said in the blog post that he knows people who are close to the president who say that Trump's insecurity and egotism are making him unable to take any criticism whatsoever, that any criticism of Trump at all is considered a personal attack. This is completely believable. This is the Trump we've known for a long time. There's no lack of consistency here. Lastly, from Erick Erickson's blog post, quote, "I am told that what the president did is actually far worse than what is being reported. The president does not seem to realize or appreciate that his bragging can undermine relationships with our allies and with human intelligence sources. He also does not seem to appreciate that his loose lips can get valuable assets in the field killed." Israel, which by all indications is our source of this intel, is obviously one of our most important allies in the Middle East. Whatever you think about Benjamin Netanyahu, I'm significantly against Benjamin Netanyahu. Whatever you think about Israel, there's no denying the value of the alliance with regard to intelligence. If you want to be fighting ISIS, you have to recognize the importance of Israel being able to trust us with information. And like Erick Erickson said, it can compromise the original source of the information. You want to talk about unmasking and putting CIA people at risk. These types of loose lips, Pat, can actually put in human intelligence assets, people at risk in the Middle East.
Yeah, it is interesting that this is coming from Erick Erickson, who is, of course, a right-winger, but it's also important to point out that he was really never in support of Trump. He was kind of like in Glenn Beck in that
He's been
scenario.
a never-Trumper, no doubt about it. And a lot of people are saying he's just a bomb thrower because of that.
And there really wasn't a place for him, it seemed, after Trump won the election and then got inaugurated. But now that there's talks about a revolt against Trump, about possible impeachment, I think he's becoming more relevant, and this is the angle that he's trying to push.
And you know what? We're calling it an angle because it is an angle, but at the same time, stepping aside from your party affiliation for a second and saying, I care about the future of this country and our national security and sort of the checks and balances and the independence of systems like the Justice Department and the FBI and press, it's sort of a sad thing that it's seen as picking some kind of side or whatever. That's kind of like being pro-America. These are the main tenets that the country is built on, and it's sad that it's becoming political around those angles.
Yeah, exactly. And even staunch Trump supporters are now turning against him. You have Ann Coulter, who wrote a book praising Trump, and now she's saying, "Where's the great negotiation? Where's the bull in the china shop we wanted? that budget that the Republicans pushed through was a joke. So they're jumping ship as well.
There's a lot of people that that were not never Trumpists that are also starting to express what I will understatedly call hesitations about some of Donald Trump's recent behavior. Today's episode of The David Pakman Show is made possible in part by Warby Parker eyeglasses. Warby Parker recently did the right thing and ditched advertising on right-wing conspiracy website Breitbart, pulling their ads off. And you can get the free 5-day home try-on from Warby Parker. Check out their glasses. I use them when I'm not wearing contact lenses. I started with the free at-home trial. They send you 5 pairs of glasses. You see which ones you like. You send them back, and whichever one you pick, they will put your prescription into. I like this because I can actually show the glasses to other people and not have to just decide on the spot like in an eyeglass store. The eyeglass industry is controlled by very few corporations that keep the prices very, very high, even over $300 for prescription glasses. With Warby Parker, they start at just $95. Mine costs that, including lenses. And for every pair sold, they give a pair to someone in need. So to try the 5 pairs and support The David Pakman Show, go to warbyparkertrial.com/TDPS.